Here we are at the freeseum, Solarium Gardenian, Great Southern Music Museum Studio in Florida, Magnolia Trail, Blue Pot Springs. We got many friends here from the music history, the Star Rock legends. Everybody is here, including Jimi Hendrocks and Mick Jagger and Stevie Kicks, Linda Rockstand, Janis Joplin, Rob Marley's, and the Blues Brothers, etc. Mostly this is a collection of music, CDs, albums, tapes, cassettes, recorded music, compilations, history of rock and roll, books, records, vinyl, and instruments. Which most may or may not be aware of, but this collection of Beatles and 60s, 70s primarily. There isn't anything particularly recordable, collectible, but what is collectible and lovable is the great music produced, and the great recordings and memory of the times. Here is part 3 in the Hendrocks, and part 2 in the Star Rock Legend book historical. We've got here 9 books about Jimi Hendrocks, the greatest, perhaps most emphatic individual in this era of music. I've got 9 books: The Voodoo Child, The Jimi Hendrix Illustrated Experience, Postcard Collection with a 70-minute CD, this Jimi Hendrix, Mitch Mitchell Inside the Experience, drummer for the Jimi Hendrix Experience is the writer, now passed, and a really, really great read, The Crosstown Traffic, by Charles Shane Murray. Charles Shar Murray. This is really about the history of rock and roll and how it affected or was infected and infused with and formed or worked with the creation of music by Jimi Hendrix and the people of his generation. Subtitle: Jimi Hendrix and the Rock and Roll Revolution. Then I have these biographies, and historical reference books of or by Jimi himself. This one, Jimi Hendrix, starting at 0, his own story. This is quotes by Jimi Hendrix primarily, and lyrics, ideas, and memories of the great player. Next to that is a modern biography. It's a fairly nice one. European music icons, Hendrix. And then this older Curtis Knight written biography about Jimi when he first began with the touring groups in the South and then into New York, and his first recording foray. Also, generally speaking, the books with the Experience Hendrix collections and CDs, box sets. This one, the Experience Hendrix, the music of this is really his best or greatest compilation album. Posthumous, naturally, but there is a historical record in that and with the booklet. Now, two biographies I have, good ones. This one, Jimi Hendrix, Electric Gypsy, Harry Shapiro and Caesar Glebeck. This is a very good record of his life and experience. And finally, the Setting the Record Straight, Hendrix, John McDermott with Eddie Kramer, the producer of many of the Hendrix records originally in that period, 67 to 71, and some were recorded or released posthumously as well after his death in September 1970. I had seen Hendrix in concert in New York Pop, July 1970, his last East Coast concert in America, called The Day the Music Died, and a film recording of the events of that weekend. And same Janis Joplin, saw her about 2 months before. This is a very nice and very worthwhile collection of material, about written material on the great player and soul, Jimi Hendrix. Beautiful. This voodoo child, just to end up, is the illustrated legend of Jimi Hendrix. This is an animated, that is comic, and unreleased CD was included as well. Very nicely done. And I recommend it if you can find them. They're not impossible. And we want to tell you, here we are in the freeseum guitar wood shop Players Museum, sharing our very small and but very full recording of the days when Fantasia was born and the heart of the axis bold as love, Rainbow Bridge, New Rays of the Rising Sun was released in The Sound of Music, 65, and came out through the new writings of the sound current and the first stages of unfoldment of real freedom and becoming aware of the true reality life is. Music was the doorway, the sound and light, a vehicle, and now we all have our chance again to become realized and absolutely in the nam or sat nam of the word that is all in all is. And thank you, James Marshall Hendricks, for your inspirations. Beyond and into the real sky of